Well, welcome, Dustin. This is Evan Triggs. This is Dustin Corbett here. This is the first episode of Coach's Take. And Coach's Take, I developed this for the fact that we got to pay it forward to the coaches that we had in our life. I'm a coach. I'm going to be talking to business leaders, entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, all kind of different folks in any kind of walk of life. That's in the role of leadership. You could be a coach. You could be a former player. You could have coached the game, played the game. Okay, so this is where I'm going to intro in Dustin. Okay, this is my first episode. Dustin, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It doesn't sound like your first epised.
Well, it's not. This is not my first time talking to you, and this is definitely not my first time with a mic.
That's right. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Well, today, I want to introduce the concept of Coach's Take. We're going to talk about our relationship. We're going to talk about your style. We're going to go through what makes Dustin tick, what makes you different. But for what's special about Coach's Take is everybody has to make a take on a mentor or coach that has had an impact on your life, all right? And that you have to make that agreement before we get on here, because I'm going to ask you and you got to be able to answer that question, all right?
All right, I'm ready for it.
Good. So Dustin, tell me what your role is and what business you're running today.
So my role by title is Director of Construction, partner and owner of Charles C. Brand Construction. The business has been around in the Indianapolis market since 1907. We're located downtown Indianapolis, and hopefully our reputation is one that many people know about for a long time.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of construction. One of the things that I've been in construction world, in the heavy civil world, for almost 10 years. And what I love about construction is about family. It's about building something. It's the closest thing. Sales is the closest, but it's the next closest thing to a competitive sport, how you work as a team to accomplish an objective. How you feel about that?
I mean, couldn't be more true. There's multiple personalities, multiple thought processes, and trying to bring everyone together for the same goal is 100% accurate.
Love that. So Dustin, we go way back. I mean, we go way back like a Cadillac.
way back. Speaking of Cadillacs, yes, way back.
So we've been knowing each other since high school. All right. So the Dustin I remember from high school. Okay. The coolest dude on the planet. That's what we would say. I mean, seriously. So I got a funny story. So it might have been the first day of school. Somebody in our religion class, because I went to Catholic school, looking out the window and said, "Man, who got the Daytons? Who got them Daytons?" And I'm like, "We got a new guy in the school," because nobody in our school had. Was it a Cutlass?
No, it was a Cadillac.
It was a Cadillac on Dayton's, all right? Talk about Dustin. Like Dustin, you showed up at high school with a Cadillac on Dayton's. That's nostalgic.
Yeah, it was the 90s. That was the thing back in the day, right? So I was just vibing for part of the thing back in the day, and that's how I came, right?
Yeah. So, but you ended up with a nickname because you was a big dude, right? You played football, and I was from a school where big dudes that play football, you was like a commodity.
Yeah.
Do you remember the nickname?
Yeah, still have it to this day. Big Country.
Big Country.
A lot of people call me Country, but I still get it to this day. I mean, I got a text message from a friend that I haven't seen in years that started the text off Country. So
yeah,
it's stuck with me for a long time.
Now, we're from the 90s, okay? Remember Bryant Reeves from Oklahoma State?
I do.
Now, that Big Country back then, you was legit. You weren't calling people Big
That's
Country.
True.
You weren't calling people Big Country unless they fit the motor of Bryant Reeves, superstar.
That's very true. That's very true.
So we actually, after high school, now we didn't finish at the same high school, but after high school, I ran into you again at Ball State.
That's right. Neighbors.
Fate.
Tricks.
At Ball State, man. So you had some experiences at Ball State, right? Yeah. Share with me just a funny story. Share with me some experiences at Ball State. And I'm really looking for, you really started your path to leadership. You started your path to entrepreneurship through that vein. Give me some stories about just one story from Ball State.
The leadership path, I'd say, was really sitting back and deciding who I want to be in the future, and really focusing on the fact that, hey, I'm more than just good looks and muscles, right? I was actually kind of smart. So I really honed in on school. I actually graduated with honors, 2.5 degrees, had a minor there, and really focused on what is going to be the next step of my life. So really took a little bit of time to just decide, what do I want to do after this chapter, and just buckled down.
Did you see construction in the future?
You know, I started in accounting because I love numbers and did a couple different things, and never really, always had it in the back of my mind, but never thought, when I went to college, that was going to be where I was at. But again, when I started to buckle down and decide where I wanted to be, and start educating myself on what is the future and where great careers are, construction was all over the place.
We'll get to the strength of numbers here in a minute. So from our history, we can buckle down to the next phase of Dustin. Okay. Now I'm very, very familiar with your family. I'm very, very familiar with the mentorship and how you all have evolved as men. And so what's interesting is I worked for your brother when I was at Angie's List.
My younger brother.
Your younger brother at Angie's List, right? And I had to call you for a favor, Dustin. I had to call you a favor because I had to call you because they weren't hiring me at Angie's List. I said, hey, Dustin, I said, listen, Dustin, talk to these people at Angie's List, man. Get me a job. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I was like, yeah, hey, I may know someone over there.
Yeah. So you showed up like a boss and made it happen.
Tried.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But that's the type of world that I know of the Corbett's, right? Your family were all the ones that the members I have, your leadership, your brother's leadership. And so I had the pleasure of also meeting Pops, right? So I can see where that tree, those fruit from that tree come from. Talk about mentorship and family. Just give me an idea, just like the Corbett way. Like what does that mean when somebody says that?
Yeah, I mean, I think first, my dad was kind of speak softly and carry a big stick, right? So when he spoke, you listened. What I loved growing up about our family, my mom and my dad, is, they didn't really put the reins on us, right? They allowed us a little bit of freedom to hang ourselves, right? And the great thing is they gave us that freedom, and we really didn't get in trouble, right? Because we were allowed and given the opportunity to make good decisions. But, just seeing the through my dad's leadership and loyalty and honor to the family, and just, he took care of everyone. I mean, we had a pretty decent sized family, and he was the guy every day grinding and hustling while, when I wanted a pair of Nike cleats, I asked my mom, and because she would never say no, and she went to him to get the cleats, So, I mean, that's what it was. He was out grinding, providing for a family, being a good leader, and he instilled some great core values in us, and I think we all carry them to this day.
Core values. Give me some insight, like for you growing up and you now as a leader. Just bridge the gap. What's the value into your practice today? What is the thing that you take with you?
I mean, for me, it's probably the self-driven will to get up every day and have a good attitude and drive as hard as you can, and know that other people are watching, right? We see people coming in every day with challenges in their personal lives and things like that, and how do you build them up? How do you keep them together? And so I would say it's probably just that, is just being driven, being passionate, being dedicated, and caring about your people.
Man, being driven, being dedicated, caring about your people, right? Like that's why people probably love to work for you. My favorite people I've ever worked for, they built into Evan. And I can look back at all the people I work for, all the people that mentored me, they should probably own a piece of that, right?
Yeah.
Like the people that work for you, Dustin, they're probably like, man, without Dustin, just imagine that, without Dustin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's good stuff. Segue into leadership. So I was snooping on your LinkedIn, my man. Like Charles C. Brandt has a mantra, and it's impact.
Yeah.
Now that's a big word, right? Impact. Share with me a little bit about what that means for you as a leader in your organization.
Yeah, so myself and my current partner, we're part of a coaching group, and we really wanted something that we could turn the corner and really drive the company with, and we decided that we really need some great core values for people to bleed, and impact was made. We're in the construction market, so you use impact tools. We want to make an impact on our people, and it's inspiring, mentoring, partnership, accountability, constructive, and together. And so all those things form the acronym impact, and for us it's the holistic approach of anything from the newest employee to the most seasoned employees. How do we pour into them to elevate them to be the best version of themselves? And if we do that, then the culture's great, the people are great, and we all win.
So the mentoring piece, that kind of is what stands out with me. Share with me how the mentoring, affects business and what you all are, what your goals are as far as a company.
Yeah, I mean, for us and our goals as a company, we've been around for over 118 years.
Wow.
We've got an established name in the market, and people know who we are. So it's how do you differentiate yourself? And it's through our people, right? And in order to do that, you got to mentor people, right? And people that are coming in the door at every different level, right? You got senior project managers, you got project engineers, you got people that have never touched construction in their lives. So it's developing a personal plan for each individual person and helping elevate them with the highest intent, right? Of just pouring into that person, and through different metrics and different tools that we use is really understanding how do they learn, what are they good at, right? Finding what are they good at, what makes them shine, what makes them get out of bed in the morning, and then putting them in that spot.
Yeah. And what I actually was together equals impact. Like that was what I thought it was. And when I found out impact was an acronym that had so much depth to it.
Yeah.
I picked together because I'm going back to my coaching days. I'm going back to my team days. Like I remember telling people all the time is I have to do my job as a defensive lineman. I can't throw the ball. I definitely can't run.
I don't know. I've seen you run.
I don't know if I, but definitely wasn't running far.
I believe that.
So at the end of the day, it's like everybody has to do their part in order for victory. And I see construction. That's why I always alluded to construction is very similar to, a team, and maybe a project could be like a season, right? But that together piece, give me a little bit on what that means when you all have together in your core values.
Yeah, I mean, there's before I had great coaching, which we'll talk about towards the end of this segment. I thought everyone was checkers. I thought everyone came to the table to win and had the same goals. I learned in my 30s that people are more like chess pieces. Pawn can do 2 moves forward. Knight can do what they can do. Queen can do what they can do, right? So it's finding each person's strength and bringing them together. And so how do you unify that team is finding who's good at what, put them in the right places to make the right plays, and then you succeed together as a team. So it's really about listening, hearing, being vulnerable, having high intent, with every action you take with someone to grow and develop them. And, if that works, the together part works, everyone's together. But it starts at the top, right? If you do it at the top, your people are going to follow you, and they're going to be together with you. So, I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at in an organization. I feel like you've got to lead, especially if you're leading people by example.
I love that. I'm going to digress a little bit because you talked about finding roles for people. When I was in Little League, I was too heavy to run the ball. Like I was just too heavy. I had like stickers on my helmet, stripes.
Right.
They make you feel bad because you from Little League up. Did you always play on the line? Did you have other positions?
No, I was pretty much where you're at.
Yeah, they had stripes.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was like 13 pounds when I was born, so I was always hefty. I remember when I played hockey, they tried to put me in goalie one time just because our goalie had a doctor's appointment. I think I got like 13 goals scored on me. But they put the biggest guy in the goal, and that was not a
Yeah, they
good
go
look for me. It was not a good look for me.
No, but what's interesting about that, just that commentary, I've typically have tried to work whatever, I played like a defensive lineman. I kind of did everything in my life like a defensive lineman. I didn't try to do somebody else. I wasn't trying to be somebody else. I wasn't trying to do somebody else's role. We talked about this. I was trying to be authentically me because of the game, right? Have you noticed that have people not been in the right role and tried to be somebody that they're not? Is that something that just occurs like in business? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because people aren't self-aware. And I think it's because people aren't vulnerable enough to say, I need more, I need help, or feel comfortable enough to ask questions. And we've tried to develop a safe space at Charles C. Brandt where people can come and speak to you and open up to you and be vulnerable and say, hey, I need coaching here. I need help here. Because if you don't, you stay in that position and you drown and everyone suffers. I mean, the whole team, the whole company suffers, and it's a bad deal. So for us, we really push people being vulnerable, people speaking up early. We have a saying in the company that bad news doesn't age well, right? So we'd rather hear bad news soon because we can fix it. Corrective action, fix it, get on the right path, versus hey, good job. A good job is always great to hear, but you got to fix the problems first to make sure we're all on the same page. But that's what I would say is vulnerability, a little humble pie, and a great environment, and people that want to help you go. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, we could probably spend the next 30 minutes on this topic, just talking about people, right? Speaking of people, like somebody has had an impact on you. Okay. This is the take. All right. So you're the first one to make a take.
It's a big one.
This is a big take. And everybody has to agree to make this take because this is part of the show. This is the most important part about this.
Yeah.
We're going to pay it forward. Okay. We talked about you. We talked about your success. We've even talked about the people that have had success because of you. Well, you got that from somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone has assisted you, a coach or a mentor. So your take is name them. But who is the person who has coached you, mentored you, and give me some impact on that relationship?
Yeah. I mean, I played sports my whole life. I've been around people that have coached me my whole life, and I would say it probably wasn't until my 30s when I had my first leadership coach, executive coach, life coach, and his name was Greg. I'll just call him Greg. I mean, that was his first name. I don't want to say his whole name, but probably the most real guy ever. He's strong into his faith, spent a lot of time in the church. So I called him my therapist because it seemed like what I thought I was doing in life was good. And, come to find out that self-awareness is a real thing, and learning how to be self-aware and learning different perspective, that because I see myself as one way doesn't mean everyone else sees it as that way. I've been through FMI leadership. I've been through advisor leadership. I've been through multiple different leadership programs, and I've had some simple lessons in life, like the 1 minute manager and things like that just are epiphanies, and it's like, it's the simplest thing, but it's being aware of those things. And so, one of the things was, he asked me, of 50 words, pick a word, and I picked driven. And another screen pops up, and where driven was, it was pushy. So where I see myself as driven, another personality may see me as a pushy person. Yeah. So it's being aware enough to understand my environment and the people I'm working with, and try and mold that a little bit to be sensitive of other people's worldviews and perspectives. So that was eye-opening for me. The other thing, which I mentioned earlier, was, he asked me almost day one is, how do you think your teammates are? And I'm like, we all came to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
We show up to work every day to do our best job to win. And he's like, no, some people are here just to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Some people are here just and don't want to be here. And I was like, wow, you know, when you hear like that, and he said, you know, people are chess pieces. They all have their special move. You got to find out what their special move, and you got to foster that, and you got to grow that. And for me, that's always stuck with me. And it's just, I think the gut checks of just hearing other simple tricks to be aware, to be humble, to understand other people's views. We use predictive index a lot just to understand personalities and things like that. And it's being more intentional with who you're working with and understanding them and trying to work how they work, you know? And so, I mean, I feel like high schools and colleges should be teaching more real life classes like, you know, self-awareness and just understanding yourself. Because really, I mean, the best coach is life, right? Every day you should learn something and figure out something and get better. But that's who I would shout out. I mean, I don't think I'd be where I am right now in this, and I've learned a lot. You know, it's hard to go backwards, but you learn those things and you try and be better. But rock star, and every day I try and be better because of him.
Yeah. Shout out to Greg. Shout out to Predictive Index. I'm a fan.
It's good.
If you ain't learning, you ain't living.
That's right.
Come on, man.
That's right.
Hey,
That's right.
Hey, listen, it's the chessboard, right?
That's true.
There's some definite heat. And once again, we only got a small amount of time here.
Yeah.
So Dustin, I want to just say thank you. Like, I gleaned a lot. You know, I spend time with you as much as I possibly can. And every time, you're one of those people who we can go all the way back to the first day we looked out the window and we saw that caddy in the parking lot. We can go back there, but then we also can push it forward and talk about business and real life scenarios and how can we make our people better.
Right.
You know, that's a special thing. So thank you for coming on the episode.
I'm very humble, very thankful, glad to be your first guest, and you know, proud of what you're doing and proud to be here, and yeah, just appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you, brother.
You
all right, Dustin, absolutely. Yes, sir.